Welcome to Top 30. I'm Kristen Smith.
And I'm Richard Bacon, and here are your top 30 stories in 30 minutes.
Google has released its most searched list of 2017, and the results highlight this year's biggest trends in news, sports, and pop culture. After a particularly severe hurricane season, the most popular search term overall was Hurricane Irma, which hit the Florida Keys on September 10th. If you were blown away by the New England Patriots' incredible comeback victory in the Super Bowl, you're not alone. Super Bowl was the fourth most popular search term. The Mayweather versus McGregor fight also got a lot of love online. It came in sixth. And if you followed the Me Too movement, you'll recognize several of the names on Google's most searched people list. Matt Lauer, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Bill O'Reilly all made the top 10. The most searched woman of the year was Princess-to-be Meghan Markle, who's set to marry Prince Harry in 2018. And if you're a parent, you won't be surprised by the most searched how-to phrase. How to make slime came in number 1. And fidget spinner was also the 10th most popular search term overall. An investigation into the shocking shark dragging video that went viral this summer has finally resulted in arrests. Florida authorities charged 3 men in their 20s with 2 counts of aggravated animal cruelty, which is a third-degree felony. And Omarosa is leaving the White House. The former Apprentice contestant turned Trump aide resigned on Tuesday. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said Omarosa is leaving to pursue other opportunities, and her departure will be effective January 20th, 2018. Well, he wasn't driving a sleigh, but watch as this Santa Claus pulls over to help a woman who'd slipped on the ice. He even picked up all of her belongings that spilled onto the ground. Okay, someone's getting extra cookies and milk this year.
A new eco-friendly cruise ship will feature sails, solar panels, and natural gas, and those modifications could change the future of the cruise industry. The Eco Ship is a $500 million project that is designed to produce 50% less carbon dioxide than a normal cruise ship. A study by a German environmental group said a traditional cruise ship can burn hundreds of tons of fuel every single day and create pollution equivalent to, get this, 1 million cars. The Eco Ship mimics the shape of a whale and can hold about 2,000 passengers. Developers say it is also designed to hold conferences and events while it is docked. The first Eco Ship is scheduled to set sail in 2020, and the price tag is around $15,000. Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Pedalides. Nicole, Costco, I'm hearing, is entering an industry you wouldn't expect.
That's right, Richard. Well, Costco is offering a limited time deal that movie lovers will enjoy. The company has teamed up with MoviePass and Fandor to give members 1-year subscriptions for $89.99. MoviePass has been growing in popularity and is accepted in 91% of U.S. theaters. Do you love avocados but don't like to slice them? Behold, the cocktail avocado. They don't have a seed and are 100% edible, according to the British retail chain that is selling them. Avocado costs in the U.S. were at record highs earlier this year, but the price has since stabilized. Creating your own podcast may now be easier than ever. Groupon founder Andrew Mason has launched a startup called Descript, which is an audio editing tool for podcasters.
Nicole, I hear that podcast growth is steady, it's not accelerating. How do you think this could change the game?
Descript wants to basically press the reset button on how media gets produced by really implementing AI. The company has raised $5 million in funding. 112 million Americans have listened to a podcast at some point. That is up 11% from 2016. More Top 30 when we return.
Bon Jovi rose to fame with power ballads and big hair, but they've proved their staying power and are being inducted into the 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Over 1,000 music industry heavy hitters, including artists and historians, voted to include Nina Simone, The Cars, Dire Straits, The Moody Blues, and the godmother of rock and roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, in addition to Bon Jovi, as this year's inductees. It's my According to the New York Times, Bon Jovi frontman John Bon Jovi says, "It's great. I really want to say it's about time." Artists become eligible for the Epic Head Nod 25 years after the release of their first album. So Bon Jovi became eligible in 2008. Criteria for being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame includes an artist's musical influence on other artists, length and depth of career and the body of work, innovation and superiority in style and technique. The 33rd induction ceremony is slated for April 14th at the Public Auditorium in Cleveland. The show will later be aired by HBO and SiriusXM. It always feels good to go get your hair done or nails done, but that trip to the beauty shop could be putting you at risk for skin rashes or even nail disfigurements. A study by Rutgers University that focused on nail salon visitors found 52% of people surveyed had dermal or fungal symptoms. Those symptoms were more common for people who visited a salon at least 3 times over the past year. The study also found improperly cleaned tools can potentially expose customers to bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Another study done by Rutgers focused on salon workers and found most had reported eye, nose, or throat symptoms. Few of them said they wore protective equipment, and most had received training in English, not their primary language. Researchers caution more studies are needed to confirm the findings, but this new information gives a small indication of what may be happening at salons nationwide.
Democrat Doug Jones is the new senator from Alabama. It is a huge upset for a red state where Democrats haven't won a Senate race for 25 years. Republican Roy Moore was expected to be the clear winner until he was accused of sexual misconduct with teenage girls while in his 30s. He was endorsed towards the end of the campaign by Donald Trump despite these allegations, but the day after Jones won, Trump tweeted that he had said Roy Moore will not be able to win the general election. Jones's win means Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes on major legislation. Democrats like Senator Kamala Harris of California calling for Jones to be seated immediately before the vote on that massive tax bill, something that Republicans say is unlikely. Republican Senator John Thune of South Dakota noted, because of how tight the Senate is now, quote, every senator is a king or queen on almost every issue. Analysts say that the win also creates the possibility of Democrats taking control of the Senate. A particularly amazing story of the night was the African-American vote. They made up 29% of the electorate, and 92% of them voted for Jones, which is even more than President Barack Obama got in the 2012 race. Many Alabama voters also said they didn't want to support Moore because, quite simply, he embarrassed them. And make no mistake, this is a massive setback for Donald Trump.
A boy with autism told his parents he was frustrated that other kids in school treat him differently. His teacher suggested he give a presentation. So George Unolis made a video to show his 4th grade classmates in Raleigh, North Carolina, what life with autism is like. George didn't speak till he was almost 3, but he had no trouble expressing himself here.
I'm extremely enthusiastic about a lot of different things. Sometimes when I get very excited about something, I flap my hands or bounce up and down.
George's interests include dancing and music. He even has a DJ name, Joyo, and made all of the music in the video himself. But most of all, he wanted them to know one thing: I'm a kid just like you. The video has been viewed hundreds of thousands of times on YouTube and Facebook. George told the Washington Post, "I believe it's pretty awesome." George, we think your video is pretty awesome too. Richard, I hear you have some incredible pictures to show us.
I do, Kristen. At the end of 2014, an underwater volcano erupted in the South Pacific Kingdom of Tonga, spewing steam, ash and rock from within the ocean. But a month later, when the ash finally cleared, a small island had started to form and was visible to satellites in space. Those satellite images recorded the island's formation and have been finally released by NASA. Initially, the island, which is being called Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai, was projected to last for just a few months. However, a new NASA study gave the island a lifespan of between 6 and 30 years, thanks to erosion. Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai is the first island to be formed and recorded by satellite technology, giving scientists a better glimpse into the island's early life, evolution, and formation.
It's time for this week's Page 6 Fix with Elizabeth Wagmeister. Elizabeth, what's going on?
Well, Kristen, fans are getting excited for the Fantastic Beasts sequel, but I'm guessing Amber Heard isn't one of them. The actress took to social media to throw shade at the producers of the film, one of them being J.K. Rowling, for defending their decision to cast her ex, Johnny Depp. Now, Rowling stands by her decision, saying, based on the understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies. Now, while Johnny and Amber's love might be over, Selena's love for Taylor is still going strong 10 years later. Selena recently revealed that they actually became friends while dating Nick and Joe Jonas at the same time. While those relationships didn't last, luckily their BFF status did. Now, from best friends to man best friend, you won't believe what happened on the Broadway set of Cats. An audience member's service dog went after one of the performers in the opening act. Luckily, an usher was able to intervene before anyone could get hurt. And that's it for this week's Page 6 Fix. See you next time.
Thanks, Elizabeth. For more news and gossip, watch Page 6 TV weekdays. Check your local listings. In today's hometown stories from Fox 11 Los Angeles, families impacted by the wildfires in Southern California are getting some relief. In Ventura, Mission Church took over an abandoned 10-theater movie complex to distribute food, water, clothing, and toiletries to wildfire victims. Meanwhile, Operation Gratitude in Chatsworth has been putting together care packages to send to first responders who are working around the clock to contain the fires. In our second story from Fox 46 Charlotte, for the past decade, Matt Hunt, a former Army sergeant, has been sending Christmas cards and care packages to military service members for the holidays. Hunt said he understands firsthand the impact a small gesture like a piece of mail can have on a soldier's day.
You can read these cards and you just start tearing up. I mean, that's the beauty of what this is all about. It's about making a difference in somebody else's life.
And the best part, sometimes soldiers send cards back. In our final story from Fox 4 Dallas, thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, 7-year-old cancer survivor Aiden Wallace got to be a superhero for the day. The whole community came together so Aiden could put out fires, battle the bad guys, and save his real-life doctor from pretend kidnappers. Of course, Aiden is already a superhero for fighting and conquering cancer. Aiden has been off therapy for a year now and now has all the energy and enthusiasm of a typical 7-year-old boy. Here's a holiday airport hack you're not going to want to miss. If you're traveling on December 15th and love priority boarding, Alaska Airlines is running a holiday promotion that can't be beat. Because Ugly Sweater Day also lands on December 15th, and to celebrate, the Seattle-based airline will let you board your flight early if you wear your favorite ugly sweater. And even if you wear your least favorite one, you'll still board your flight early. The one-day promotion includes their affiliate airlines Virgin America and Horizon Air too. Flight attendants will also dress up in their favorite hideous sweaters that day, while festive holiday music plays at their terminals. You'd have to be a Grinch not to enjoy that deal.
Netflix released a report on their biggest TV binging trends of 2017, and it's rare for them to release any data on viewing habits. The company picked up on some unusual trends. One person watched Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl 365 times in 365 days. Another binged Shameless from Antarctica. Netflix also knows which shows we like to race through, savor, watch together, or secretly watch ahead of our significant other. American Vandal, the spoof of a true crime documentary, was the most binged. The Crown was the most savored, whatever that means. Stranger Things was the show people most like to watch together, and Narcos was the show that got us to use their terminology, cheat, meaning watching episodes ahead of our partner. Some Netflix viewers did not enjoy the release of this data, accusing the company of spying on customers. But Netflix countered, saying the privacy of our members' viewing is important to us.
Canadian researchers have made an interesting link between the age your mother was when she had you and the odds you'll have children. Analyzing health records, they found that women born to older mothers were less likely to have children. The findings showed that nearly 20% of women born to mothers over the age of 30 remained childless. It dropped to 15% for women born to mothers between the ages of 20 and 24. There are plenty of other variables when it comes to having children, like birth order, education level, and number of siblings, but researchers say this particular finding finding is noteworthy because women are having children today at a later age than ever. And it's for that reason they think the effects of having children later is now a public health priority. He's one of the surprise players in the NFL this year, and he was playing at a community college just a few years ago. We're taking a closer look at Alvin Kamara's amazing journey in today's Beyond the Scoreboard segment. Kamara's first year with the Saints has been a huge success. He's emerged as a dual threat, becoming the first rookie in 37 years to have 600 rushing and receiving yards. But his path to the NFL wasn't an easy one. He began at the University of Alabama, but was kind of an afterthought there and transferred to Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. After a successful season, he was able to get back to a Division I school and played at Tennessee. But in 2 years there, he started just 8 of 24 games, splitting time with other players. He didn't have the big numbers, but his raw talent caught the attention of the New Orleans Saints. He had to wait until the 3rd round and became the 67th overall player taken. Teammates say he has patience and vision on the field, which makes him such an explosive runner. You could say those same traits helped him overcome the hurdles on his route to the NFL.
It could become easier to get medical devices approved for sale, but experts are divided on whether that is a good thing. The Food and Drug Administration plans a new, faster approval process for medical device companies to get their products to market. In the announcement, FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said that devices with acceptable uncertainty about risk will be able to go on sale with an approval from the agency. He said further tests would come later. Current regulations require clinical trials or other tests before a product launches. Gottlieb says new rules will give patients better access to new technology. Some of those devices could include cholesterol blood tests and ultrasound equipment. Device makers, who could save millions in product tests, naturally applauded the move in a statement from industry group Advamed. But doctors are less excited. Some worry the rules would turn patients into guinea pigs. One cardiologist told Reuters, "When we use devices on patients without clinical studies first, the patients effectively become the trial." The FDA is expected to announce the new rules next year.
Saudi Arabia has lifted its 35-year ban on movie theaters. The ban had been in effect since 1982, when a wave of ultra-conservative rulers came into power and enacted strict Islamic code. Saudi Arabia's Minister of Culture and Information said in a statement, opening cinemas will act as a catalyst for economic growth and diversification. This marks a watershed moment in the development of the cultural economy of the kingdom. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, 32-year-old Mohammed bin Salman, has sought to reform Saudi Arabia by easing strict cultural restrictions and expanding women's rights. For example, concert performances are now permitted. Women are allowed to attend soccer games, and the ban on women driving will be lifted next year. The first movie theaters are expected to open as early as March of 2018. Their goal is to keep building until there are over 300 theaters with over 2,000 screens by 2030. It's a late step, but it's still a step forward.
In order to battle the student debt crisis, Ivy League schools are trying to do away with student loans for undergraduate students. Starting next semester, Brown University will be the latest school to implement this trend by eliminating student loans and replacing them with scholarships. The new financial aid package comes after a $30 million fundraising effort was kicked off in September. Thanks to its success, Brown University plans to raise another $90 million so they can hit their goal and keep students from being bogged down by loans for the rest of their life. University President Christina Paxson says the fundraising effort amplifies our commitment to bringing the best and the brightest students to Brown, regardless of their socio-economic background. Ivy League schools like Yale and Princeton have already implemented programs like this, while other top-tier universities offer income cutoffs which give poorer families a better deal.
Mele Kalikimaka is the Hawaiian phrase that means Merry Christmas, but more merriment is coming out of the island paradise: pineapple Christmas trees. Thanks to a Christmas tree shortage and a subsequent hike in price, it's much cheaper to purchase and decorate than an actual tree. Parents love them because it's something the kids can decorate that won't end with family heirlooms being destroyed, and because they're waste-free, you can eat them. According to Southern Living, pineapples as Christmas decoration dates back to the colonial times, where the tropical fruit was considered a status symbol. fall. People are really getting creative when it comes to decorating them. The tropical festivity can be adorned with battery-powered lights, ornaments, and even sunglasses. What a cute, easy, and not to mention budget-friendly way to decorate for the holidays. Hey, Richard, what's coming up on the next show?
Kristen, we're talking about the healthiest states in America. A new report lists the healthiest and least healthy states, and the results may surprise you. Shopping malls are closing faster than ever before. Experts predict as many as 25% of them will close in the next few years. And one engaged couple made a stunning discovery while looking through old family photos. These stories and more coming up on the next Top 30.